Hey, Aries, Mel, intuitive coach here. Excited to bring in your January 2026 monthly reading. All right, let's open up your energy field and take a look at what the upcoming month has in store for you, Aries. Now, I am hearing a few names. I'm hearing Charlie, Hannah, Cassandra, and Ben. So perhaps you know someone, or that could be your name, or you may even be connecting with someone in the coming weeks that holds that energy that could be very pivotal, very important on your journey. Bottom of the deck, we have clarity. You're getting clear on what it is that you want, Aries, and things are coming to light. Truths are resurfacing. I'm hearing spiritual truth. So your spiritual truth is the part of you that is meant to shine, the part of you that is unlimited, the part of you that has access to infinite abundance and unconditional love. And sometimes our actions are not aligned with our truth. So you may be looking at your morals, your belief system, and what it is that you truly want out of your life, getting clear about it, and making sure that those actions align with your spiritual truth, because that is alignment. Now you have timing coming through. Divine timing is at play, but I also have a feeling that Spirit is saying now's the time. No more procrastinating, no more putting something off. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. And I am getting the Hanged Man energy here. So it feels like there is a shift in perspective where sometimes we view the world through the lens of scarcity, through the lens of past conditioning that can feel very limiting, through the lens of fear or poverty consciousness, because we do have the shadow coming through here, but you're facing something head on. And oftentimes people fear looking at the shadow because it can be scary. It can be daunting. It can be challenging. And I see that you have the emotional intelligence and the spiritual wisdom to deal with something that's been a bit of a struggle, because shadow isn't something to be afraid of. The shadow is a part of us that was trying to protect us at one point or another. And I see that you're facing something head on, just like these two felines are looking at each other. And this also connects to the devil energy. So anything in your life that you have found yourself over consuming to the point where it wasn't healthy, this can be a mental thought. It could be a pattern. It could be foods. It can be a frame of mind or a mindset. You are addressing it with shadow here. And there may even be someone in your life, such as a therapist or a trusted loved one. This could be a spiritual healer, a psychic, or someone that you really look up to that has been helping you overcome some of these struggles or challenges in your life. But I do see timing here is significant, meaning there's results that you will see for your efforts. And I see your patience also paying off. Now, some of you are approaching health with a different perspective. Some of you may be getting back on track financially, or you may be looking at your relationships and addressing the white elephant in the room. And so sometimes this can be an uncomfortable energy, but it's necessary in order for growth to occur. And you have trust coming out here. So Aries, you are being guided to trust the process. Trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. And there's something beautiful unfolding here for you. Oftentimes, this card connects to the Fool. And I see that you are no fool. Aries, you have gone through the school of hard knocks, but you are asked to trust that there is a new path forward and that you can trust yourself to make choices that are in your highest good. And this is about commitments as well. What do you pay homage to? Where do your commitments lie? And you may be addressing certain patterns or routines that you were giving your energy to, but it wasn't helping you. It was hindering you. Perhaps this is excessive scrolling on social media, which was eating up a lot of your time, where you could have been focusing on something that may have been more enriching, or something that could have helped you financially or emotionally. It feels like you're kind of flipping the script here. You're turning the page, and you're getting honest with yourself. And I also see that many of you have been working on somatic tools, somatic healing, that is helping you get out of a state of survival, because we don't often realize that our nervous system is locked down on that survival. And we start to view the world through that lens of survival or scarcity. And that's shifting here. You've been doing some sort of work that is really helping you evolve and helping you put your own gifts out into the world. Many of you have gifts that the world needs, but you may have had to go through your own experiences in order to learn and in order to be the best teacher, healer, mentor, light worker, and coach. All right, we have the 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords is putting the past behind you. A new day has dawned. A new year is now in front of you. We are moving out of the 9 energy, the year of the snake, shedding an old skin, shedding old personas, old habits, old stories, old dynamics. And we're stepping into a brand new threshold of the 1 vibration, which actually breaks down on the 10 to a 1. So there's been a mental burden or something that has been quite heavy, and you don't want to bring that energy into the year forward. You want to feel lighter, just like that trust is the Fool, and the Fool travels lightly. And we're moving into the year of the Horse. The year of the Horse represents stamina, courage, determination, resilience, and freedom. It feels like you are stepping into freedom, whatever that may mean for you. Emotional freedom, meaning you no longer carry the emotional baggage of some sort of pain or an experience that you may have gone through where you hit rock bottom. For many of you, this 10 of Swords, you may have even felt like someone stabbed you in the back, or you may have had a health experience that you've gone through, and there may have been physical and mental pain. And you're shifting the dynamic here. You're shifting the script because you're moving into the Page of Swords. So there's mental clarity, mental resilience, and I'm being shown a basketball player. So an athlete often has that mental fortitude. And yes, they have the physical through their training, through their practice, but oftentimes it's the mental fortitude that is just as powerful, if not more powerful. And you're starting to visualize what your next steps look like. You're starting to really open up that third eye chakra, and you're getting clear about what you want. And you see this Page of Swords, which represents communication. Also technology. Some of you are learning by researching and maybe even putting yourself out on a course of learning or communicating with people around you. But I also see that you are getting ready to hit your target. Just like this young archer, he has a bow and an arrow behind him, and he's about to grab that arrow and he's about to hit his mark. But it requires trust. And it requires patience, and it requires that you look at what it is that you want and get clear on it, because you have clarity showing up here. I'm also seeing shoes. Now, some of you could be getting new shoes. I mean, shoes could represent foundation, so your root chakra, safety, security, a sense of belonging. It may be that you are preparing because the shoes are sneakers. It feels like the shoes. So getting ready, there could be a lot of productivity here. Some of you, it could represent like hitting the ground running, where something takes off quite quickly for you. It feels like as soon as you release, as soon as you push through maybe these fears or insecurities, or gain the mental fortitude that you need to go all the way, there's no stopping you. So you have a lot of really brilliant ideas, and you are also opening yourself up to learning, because the pages represent a beginner's mindset. And I always say, no matter what, I am the student of life. And yes, we can oscillate between the student and teacher, but I feel like we're always learning. We're always evolving. And you may be stepping into a new chapter of your life that requires you to be more of that student at this time, to learn something new. And that's why trust is here. And I also am getting an energy of playfulness, opening yourself up to more play, experimentation, joy, and pleasure. But you also have the Page of Swords, which is saying if you don't know how to do something, you're willing to learn, or you're willing to ask for help, or to reach out for help. Now you have here the Queen of Pentacles, beautiful energy here. This connects to that root chakra, also known as the base chakra. So many of you, that shadow work and that Ten of Swords, this could even be an inherited pattern or programming that may have been conditioned very early on in your life. And I feel like you've been reprogramming what stability means for you, especially around your financial world, around your career, and around your health, because the practical matters lie within the Pentacle realm. And I feel like you are tapping into infinite abundance here. You have new ideas that could really secure you, bring in a new level of safety, and create calm in your own nervous system. Because the Queen of Pentacles, she loves to focus on creating a nurturing environment within her home. She is the ultimate hostess. She loves to connect to nature and plants and animals. And many of you are also connecting to your health by eating more whole foods, less processed foods, less packaging, and you may be getting in the best shape of your life in 2026. And I see that this could be a huge year for financial abundance, financial flow to come in as well. And we have the Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And the Six of Swords is moving towards calmer waters. Now, it can be a card of travel. So some of you may be traveling in the near future in January, or you may be planning a move. But I also see that mentally you are coming out of turmoil, because it feels like there's been, I'm getting negotiation, or there's been a bit of back and forth here, but it feels like you're moving into the year feeling a lot lighter. And I also see that many of you have been connecting with your spirit guides, your angels, your ancestors, but there may also be someone in the physical realm. As I mentioned, this could be, a coach or a teacher or a mentor, someone who is supporting you. This could be a spouse, a family member, but it feels like there's some level of support here that really helps you out. And it feels like you are reclaiming your own power, Aries. You are reclaiming your own power by getting clear on what you want and saying, this is what I want to build. This is what I want to create. The Queen of Pentacles also is very financially savvy. So many of you may be looking at your finances and saying, okay, how can I make the best out of this situation? How can I make my money work for me? So you may even be looking at financial establishments, and you could be relocating your money. Maybe you're putting your money in a CD, or you could be looking at interest rates. I see some of you focusing on connecting with a financial professional, like either a tax advisor or an accountant. And you may also be talking to someone in your field of work who wants to get together, wants to expand, wants to kind of bounce ideas off of you, or you may have ideas that you want to bounce off of someone else. And I really feel good about this Six of Swords because the Six of Swords is moving away from the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is basically a battle of the inner child. It can be a win at all cost mentality. It can be like mental fits. It can be emotional fits that you or someone that you've dealt with has come at you with. But I see you're moving towards a space that feels more peaceful, that feels more calm. And for those of you that connect to real estate, or if you're signing maybe a new lease, or you've had issues or problems with your neighbors, because I do feel like there's someone here also with the shadow that you have dealt with. Maybe this is an ex, this could be a family member. It feels like there has been some sort of, I don't want to say a cat fight with the two cats here, but it does look like that Five of Swords, it kind of left some scratches. Like it left some heavier energies that you had to deal with. And I see that you've really been working on getting back to a space where you feel better mentally, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually. And that's where the Six of Swords is leading you in the coming months. But right now you're focused on a new beginning, letting go of that mental turmoil and moving into curiosity and saying, okay, where there's a will, there's a way. And I need to get my mind straight to move forward. You're getting clear on what you want. And it looks like you want some sort of stability in your life. But I also feel like you've been working really, really hard. Oftentimes the Queen of Pentacles, I mean, she could be in a traditional job. Perhaps you work in the corporate world. But this could be your year where you expand your business, or you expand on your own creative ideas and endeavors. Because as I mentioned, the world needs what you have to offer in some way. I mean, you could be a role model. It feels like other people look up to you, Aries. So let's dive in and take a look at career. Let's look at finances and money, because that is showing up here with the Queen of Pentacles. And also for those of you that have struggled with your health, this could be brain fog. I am getting chronic illness as well, gut health, inflammation or chronic inflammation, and I'm being shown a bite. So some of you may have even had Lyme's, or you may have even suffered from like mold. It feels like you're getting answers and you are connecting with someone who knows their stuff. So if there's someone new coming in, I feel like you can trust this individual. Of course, use your due diligence, use your own intuitive awareness, but it feels like the timing is saying, okay, it's about time. Someone enters into your world or comes in and there's answers, or there's clarity around a situation that's been heavy. All right, what do we have for career? We have the Book coming through. The Book does represent contracts, contractual agreements. This can be editing, publishing, writing. Some of you may benefit from journaling at this time, writing things down. Now, this may speak of administrative tasks and paperwork. This is learning as you go, because sometimes we don't push play because we feel like we don't have enough information, or we feel like we are not fully ready. But sometimes the best course of action is to learn as you go, because then you start to see how the pieces fall together. Because if we're waiting for the perfect time to take action, we could be waiting a lifetime. But I'm also getting legalities for some of you. You may be dealing with the legal system. Maybe that pertains to rental agreements. It could even pertain to children with that page here, or finances with that Queen of Pentacles. And because we also have some sort of a loss, you may even be dealing with like an inheritance, or you may be looking at paperwork that has to do with maybe power of attorney, or it could even be an elderly parent. You may be looking at some of the financials. I'm getting nursing home here. and health issues. So looking at things from an educational standpoint, there's your law showing up here, but also taking classes, which I mentioned. So the Page of Swords tells me that there could be a class that you sign up for. It could be the right time, or some of you may be evaluating and saying, is this the right time for me? This is where you trust in your own intuitive wisdom because you want to get curious. You are curious. And I almost feel like this is unfolding over the next 3 months. So it feels like January, February, and March, so quarter one, holds this energy of paperwork. So there could be, again, a class that you take or decide to take in the next few months. This could be a court date, something that you are putting out into the world. Maybe you are the one that is designing courses or classes or seminars. And I also see that there could be something you attend early on in 2026. This could be a convention, or it could be like a psychic fair, or it could be something where people are speaking and you're taking notes. So maybe like motivational speaking, or it could be some form of a seminar. But I feel like you're learning a lot and I'm getting inspiration. Something here inspires you. And you may say, that's what I want to do, or I want to lean into this energy, or I want to work with this individual. So pay attention. Some of you are putting an application or putting your resume out there because you've had enough of maybe a current situation. Maybe that shadow is you dealing with a coworker who may have been ruthless, may have been not fighting fair, that Five of Swords, and you're moving away from that. So expect there to be some sort of invitation, opportunity. I feel like there will be an interview for those of you that are maybe wanting a promotion. And you are moving into something that does feel stable. It looks like there will be an offer or a message or some form of communication coming through. So I like the book card. Now you do have loss showing up. Now this could be the loss of an income. It could be the loss of a loved one that has impacted you financially. But what it does say here, Aries, is a major phase in your life is ending. Embrace newness. And that connects with that 10 of Swords. Let go of what was so you can focus your energy on what is ahead of you. And I'm being shown a beautiful gift. Some of you may be really great at wrapping gifts, but I see that there's a beautiful gift with foil and there's a bow and the ribbons hanging from it. And I'm being shown it being handed to you. So this could be a spiritual gift. This could be a blessing, an offer, an invitation. And it feels like the universe is handing it over. I'm kind of getting a little bit of a Four of Cups energy where oftentimes in the Four of Cups, you'll see the 3 cups spilled in front, but in the back, there is the Ace of Cups being offered. And so it feels like there is a new beginning being offered up by the universe here. And that could be connected to that divine timing as well. Something that you've maybe wanted for quite some time. The grief of loss at times has continued to be an obstacle in your life, and that connects to that shadow. But the timing here tells me that you have been working on this, and that is why you are opening yourself up to newness. So January is kicking off something fresh, leaving behind the old. And even if you have endured loss, you've learned a lot about yourself. You've learned a lot about what you want, what you don't want. And you also have the ability to move into a fresh energy that can help others. It almost feels like you can help them based on struggles that you have endured, but you get to witness your own growth and you get to witness the growth of others. And that is beautiful because hurt people, but healed people also heal people. And I feel like you are on this side. You are showing up as a more healed version of you, or having a greater understanding of why certain things have happened in the past. Now, you have take action. Take action coming through. It says, whatever your question is, this is telling you to go for it, to get curious, to put out that resume, to take a look at your financials and to take inventory. This could be mental fortitude. As I've mentioned, this could be taking action and putting yourself out there, maybe a new platform connected to technology, the World Wide Web. This could even be writing a book. This could be new contractual agreements. Some of you are looking at agreements here. Maybe this is an NDA. Maybe this is your price list. This could be something that you are combing through and getting clear. It could be a business plan. But it says don't procrastinate or wait to take the next step to get ahead. Just do it. So this is saying this is your month to set your mindset, set your eye on the prize and go for it. Because that Page of Swords is saying if you have an idea, go all the way. Because you have the fortitude, you have this Queen of Pentacles, which means you have the ability to create something very beautiful, very stable, very tangible in your material world. Nothing will change if you don't take action. Don't let the opportunity pass you by. So it doesn't just have to be physical. Remember, this can be mental, right? That mental fortitude, stepping into the 1 year also represents courage. And you have courage because you know what it's like to go through experiences that have been hard, that have been challenging. So let's dive in here and take a look at relationships. Let's look at love and family. Spirit, what do we have for love and family, please? We have the sword and the rose. So we have another sword showing up here. Clarity and truth. So I love all the parallels, and it feels like there's a connection with synchronicities, Aries, in the month of January. You are going to see synchronistic and serendipitous events taking place. As soon as you view something from a new lens, from a new perspective, it's like another perspective opens up and then another, and you're starting to see the pieces fit together. It's like a Rubik's Cube. It's like you've been trying to work on getting things all leveled out. You've been working on expanding your own energy and taking action towards living and leading your best life. And now it feels like things are finally starting to align. And when it comes to your relationships, I feel like you are very protective of those that you love. And I feel like you've also done a lot of cleansing or clearing of energies and creating boundaries, spiritual, energetic boundaries, but also saying no when you mean no and yes when you mean yes. So you have autonomy here over your own life. But I also see that you've been wanting to have maybe a very important conversation or opening yourself up to having conversations with others that could be very beneficial for everyone involved. So I see communication being key, or reconnecting through communication and not just surface. It feels like really diving in and talking about some of the things that we don't often talk about. We brush underneath the rug, or we don't want to deal with because we may feel like someone could reject us, or someone may not meet us where we're at. And I see that you have one of two options. You either accept that this is how someone is and they're not willing, or I shouldn't say willing, but they're not growing at a pace that you are. And maybe that is causing a bit of misalignment. And if you've both talked about this, if there's been a serious conversation about coming together, but one of you is ready to evolve and the other isn't, that could become a problem. And that Ten of Swords is saying then there may be a choice to make regarding the two of you. But if you have this conversation and both of you are wanting to grow, wanting to meet each other in the middle, wanting to level up, then there's the opportunity for that as well. And I see for those of you that may be single, you could be putting yourself out there. Maybe this is online dating for some because we have technology here with the swords, but it could also be connecting through, it could be connecting through a class, or going towards or going to an event where you're learning or putting yourself on a course of learning here, or maybe it's learning new exercise regimes and you meet someone that way. It feels like you're connecting through learning as well. All right. Yeah, we have dating. So you could be dating. All right. This is getting back out there, meeting someone new, setting up a date. And it does say dating online here. So if you are wanting to reconnect that spark between you and a loved one. This could be the month where you have some conversations and say, hey, let's start something new. Let's try something that the both of us have never tried before. Let's lean into this new hobby and see if we enjoy it, because that could bring us back together. Or it could be talking about things that you want to do in 2026. But I also see for those of you that are maybe connecting, it feels like you're putting yourself out there after a period of responsibility or taking care of others. So for example, maybe you are now an empty nester, or you have more freedom to be able to date because you may have children who have more independence, or you may have someone who's left the home, or you have gone through a divorce here and you've spent time healing and you've spent time focusing on your own trust, your own fidelity, your own secrets and honesty, and you may be ready to put yourself out there, but it feels like after an ending here of an old persona, an old role that you've played. And I see here with the mirror, now we're going to get a little bit deep, and this has to do with self. And yes, it certainly can connect to other people, but I want to talk about you for a moment. You have the mirror, Aries. And the mirror is about self-reflection. The mirror is about introspection and taking a look at our own inner wounds. Because as I mentioned earlier, sometimes hurt people, or projections can be kind of projected onto each other where we mirror certain people, mirror certain energies. And I just have a feeling you have been doing a lot of that inner healing with shadow work. There may have even been some sort of PTSD or an experience that had left you with a trauma, right? Big T or little t, it doesn't matter. The body keeps score. The body remembers. And I see that you may be looking at someone's behavior, but instead, I don't want to say pointing a finger back on you, but saying, how can I respond differently? Instead of expecting someone else to change, or even looking at your belief systems around love. You are so worthy of love. And I feel like you are starting to feel more confident about yourself. You're starting to look at yourself and look at maybe the gray hairs or the fine lines or the aging you. And you're saying, I am grateful. I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful that I still have my health, or I'm grateful that I have the ability to love. I have the ability to connect with myself on a deeper level, because many of you are so very in tune with your own body. You're very in tune with your thoughts, your emotions. And so something is being reflected back to you, Aries. And by looking at how you respond to it makes all the world in the all the difference in the world. And you are also saying to yourself, how can I love myself through those dark times? And I feel like you're not leaving yourself behind. It feels like some of you may have been working on abandonment wounds, or feeling rejected, feeling denied. You may even be widowed for some of you with that loss here. And you may have gone through that heavy period, but it feels like that's what the 10 of Swords is saying, is now you're able to see something. You're able to look in the mirror and you're proud of you. You're able to look in the mirror in the morning and say, I love you. You're able to look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of how far you've come. So there's this deep appreciation for self. How beautiful is this, Aries? All right, let's get a final card here. We're going to get a card from the Archetype guidebook, Kim Krans. This is one of my favorites. So let's see what archetype you are working with. We have here the Father. I'm going to find the Father in the guidebook. One moment. All right. We have again the Father, which connects to the Emperor, which is actually your major arcana. Now, some of you, perhaps there have been energies around a father figure, a father influence, or even a divine masculine. Some of you may be stepping into more of a masculine energy, or calling in someone who can allow you to allow you to soften into your feminine or vice versa. So the father archetype is coming through. This is the great father, the protector, the masculine. Alongside the mother, the father resides in the central axis of the archetypal family. The father embodies both light and dark aspects of the masculine. Thus, he is infinitely dynamic and complex. His energy is strong and regal, embodying such virtues as honesty, wisdom, and loyalty. Yet, ironically and simultaneously, the father is often absent, either literally or emotionally. Through absence or action, the father eventually reveals that he is neither a king nor a god, but a human being with many flaws and wounds. He is both the guardian and one who leaves us to the wolves. Here, yet gone, the champion and the failure. The father can never resolve or escape this duality. It is inherent in the archetype itself, witnessing. Witnessing the father's limitations allows the child to grow beyond the family and into the new world. When this is showing up as the light aspect, it is supportive, strategic, regal, and it's kind authority. When it's showing up as the dark, which we do have that shadow, it can be disappearing, disappointing, devastating by failures. Read poems about the father. For some of you, Sharon's Old, His Stillness, or William Blake's Little Boy Lost. And lastly here it says, become a student. So we have the student energy showing up that we talked about, that Page of Swords. Become a student of this masculine energy. Watch the father in movies, in Shakespeare's plays. See the father as a pattern, not as personal. That's pretty deep. If you want to go deeper in this energy, check out Saturn devouring his sun, which is interesting because I believe we have some really powerful Saturn placements that we are shifting out of. Many of us have been in a decade-long Saturn cycle, and you may have learned a lot about the father or the divine masculine or the protector in oneself. So we have this father archetype. I feel like you are witnessing, you are the observer, but I also feel like you may have faced, again, some heavy shadows when it comes to that energy or that archetype. And this is a month of action. All right. It is a month of mental fortitude and creating stability within your own body, within your own nervous system, and moving into calmer waters, moving into a space that feels safe, but also not losing your inquisitiveness because you are someone who is curious about the world around you. And because the world came up again, and I'm picking up on the world, it feels like the world is your oyster. There's victory around the corner. There's success. There's accomplishment. No more delayed gratitude. This is your time. This is your year to shine, Aries. And I absolutely feel like you are. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed the reading today, please do give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share, like, and subscribe. And if you are interested in a personal reading or signing up for the monthly newsletter or even entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video or by visiting intuitivesoulcoach.com.